Lesson 5: Central Problems of an Economy. Dear learners, today we will talk about central problems of an economy: scarcity and choice, resource allocation in a capitalist economy, resource allocation in a planned economic system, full utilization of resources and growth of resources. As you are aware, we have multiple wants, but only limited resources to fulfill them. We need different goods and services to satisfy different wants, but due to scarcity of resources, we cannot produce all the different types of goods and services for everybody in the economy at the same time. Also, due to scarcity, we cannot afford to waste the resources. So, every economy must find solution to these problems. Number 1, scarcity and choice. Suppose you want to buy a shirt, a book and a gift for your friend. You also want to watch a movie in a cinema hall. There are a number of wants which are to be satisfied, but you have only rupees 110 with you. Supposing a shirt is available at rupees 150, a book is worth rupees 95, a gift cost rupees 90 and a movie ticket can be purchased at rupees 100. So, together all of them will cost you rupees 435, which you do not have. Obviously, you cannot purchase all the things. Since you have limited money or resource with you, what will you do with rupees 110? You cannot buy a shirt as its price is more than the money you have, but you can think of buying either a book or a gift or a movie ticket. Here you have to make a choice about which one of these things you want to buy. Why does the problem of choice arises? If you had a magic wand or a magic lamp, you could have had everything to satisfy your wants, and the problems of making a choice would not arise. This is an ideal situation which can never happen. You have only rupees 110 and not rupees 435, which implies that the resources, money in this case, with you are limited or scarce. You face the problem of deciding exactly what good is to be bought to satisfy your want. While making a choice as to which, one by one, notice another important thing, that is resources can be put into alternative uses. How? All of them. You can buy a book or a gift or a movie ticket. So, resources can be put to alternative uses. Similarly, the economy also has to decide what goods and services are to be produced and how resources are to be used. Thus, the issue of choice arises because number 1, the resources are scarce, and number 2, the resources can be put to many alternative uses. Central problems of an economy. We may enlist 3 major problems facing an economy. These are: number 1, problem of allocation of resources, problem of utilization of resources, problem of growth of resources. Let us discuss these issues one by one. Number 1, as I stated, problem of allocation of resources. An economy also confronts 3 fundamental economic problems. Number 1, what goods and services shall be produced and in what quantities. Number 2, how shall goods and services be produced. Number 3, for whom goods and services are to be produced. What goods and services shall be produced and in what quantities. Every society may face similar problem of choice. However, the priorities may be different. In less developed economies, the choice may be between production of food crops and manufacture of bicycles. In advanced economies, the choice may be between building more shopping malls or producing more cars. How shall goods and services be produced? It is related to the method by which these are to be produced. Once the goods to be produced are decided, there is a problem of how to produce them, what tools are needed, how much land and how many workers are needed. There are many different ways of making things. For example, clothes can be produced by employing more labor and less machines, or more machines and less labor. If goods and services are produced by employing more of labor and less of capital, it is known as labor intensive method of production. If goods and services are produced by employing more of capital, can say machinery, it is called capital intensive method of production. Number 2, for whom goods and services are to be produced, who is to enjoy and get the benefit of the goods and services produced. It is not possible to satisfy everyone's want due to scarcity. So, it must be decided to whose wants are to be satisfied. Should the economy produce more of food crops, or more of computers? Whose needs are to be addressed, or the poorer people or the richer people? Should everybody get equal share of the total goods and services produced, even if some people may need more than others? All these decisions refer to the distribution of income and wealth in the society. Resource allocation in a capitalist economy. Capitalist economy is an economic system in which factors of production are privately owned and goods and services are produced with the objective of earning maximum profit. In a capitalist market oriented economy, there is no central authority to guide the choice of goods and services. The production is in the hands of individuals, farmers, manufacturers, producers, service providers and others. The resources like land, labor, capital, etc. are owned privately by people. All these individuals produce for the market and are guided by profit motive. They produce only those goods which are demanded by the consumers. They try to produce the goods in the cheapest possible way, so that they can earn maximum profits. These individual producers will try to move their resources away from producing things which people do not buy, towards the production of goods which people like to buy. The products are meant for the people who demand such products and can afford to buy these. Suppose Rajan is a businessman who produces shirts. He realized that a lot of his shirts remain unsold. He also observed that young boys and girls are wearing T-shirts in these days. These young people are willing to spend money nowadays on T-shirts rather than shirts. As Rajan's profit has started falling, he decides to produce T-shirts instead of shirts. As his resources are limited, he diverts his resources to the production of T-shirts to satisfy the demands of the young people. Rajan now can produce the T-shirts by employing 2 sewing machines and all his 10 workers. By this process, each T-shirt will cost him rupees 100. Another option for Rajan is to produce T-shirts by using 5 machines and only 8 workers, in which case the T-shirt will cost rupees 125. Rajan will choose the best and cheapest method because he wants to make as much as profit as he can by selling his T-shirts. Now, Rajan's T-shirts are very popular among the youngsters. He earns higher profits now than what he was earning when he produced shirts. The young people who can afford to pay rupees 100 are all wearing the T-shirts produced by Rajan. Thus, the important characteristics of a capitalist economic system are given below. Number 1, only those goods and services are produced which the consumers want. Maximum quantity of goods are produced at the minimum cost per unit. Number 3, goods and services are produced for everyone who can pay for them. Now, the second central problem of the economy is allocation of resource in a planned economic system. Earlier we saw that in a capitalist economy. In a planned economic system, there is a central planning authority of the government, which decides what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce. The planning authority sets the production targets. The government sets the goals and the firms try to meet the goals. When there is an agreement on the targets, the firms start the production. It is unlike the market economies, where people you have money can satisfy their wants and people do not have money cannot afford to buy things to satisfy their wants. In a planned system, the government wants everybody to be equal. They produce the goods which everybody needs and can be shared equally by everyone. It is not that people who can afford can have more. No, at least in case of services like health and education, roads and housing, everyone should get equal opportunity irrespective of their affordability. Thus, in case of planned economies, the government decides to produce the goods and services which it thinks people should have and not what people think they should have. Thus, the government produces goods and services to satisfy the wants of masses. As the government determines the production of various goods and their quantities, it is possible that the government produces more scooters and tractors, whereas the consumers demand car. Regarding how to produce, the central planning authority may not be able to circulate the cost of so many things, and there is a danger that resources are not allocated in an ideal manner. A socialist economy solves the problem of home to produce on the basis of basic needs of people like food, clothing and shelter are sought to be satisfied. Everyone is treated alike and no one gets precedence over the others. It is however said that planned economic system does not allocate the resources in the most ideal manner, as it is not based on the choice and preferences of people. It is based on the decision of government. However, the system is based on the principle of social welfare. Next is resource allocation in a mixed economy. A mixed economic system combines government planning with the free market economy. No economy in the world is totally centrally planned or totally market oriented. Most of the economies today are mixed economies. In the mixed economic system, the choice of goods and services to be produced by the private sector depends on the basis of profit motive. The choice of goods and services to be produced by the government depends on the basis of needs and requirements of the people. It combines the efficiency of production with the justice of distribution. The government owns scarce resources to produce goods and services that they think their country and people need. People and firms in the private sector also own some scarce resources with the aim of making as much money as possible. Thus, mixed economic system attempts to combine the advantages of the market economic system with the advantages of the planned economic system. Second central problem of the economy is full utilization of resources. The other central problem of an economy relates to full utilization of resources, land, labor, capital. You have seen that you can have more of bicycles by sacrificing some amount of wheat. If all the resources in the economy are fully employed, then the quantity of one commodity can be increased only by the foregoing some quantity of the other. This happens when production takes place efficiently, but in reality most of the time production does not take place efficiently. The factors are not fully employed and the production is below the optimum capacity of economy. You must have seen some of your family members or friends who are unemployed despite being educated. Similarly, in our agricultural land, we still grow only one crop in a year. This is not a good sign, as the resources are already scarce. If these scarce resources are also not utilized fully, it is wastage of resources. Thus, it is the duty of an economy to ensure that the scarce resources do not remain unutilized or underutilized. Third central problem is growth of resources. If resources like labor, capital and technology grow over a period of time, then problem of scarcity can be addressed. Thus, for the growth of an economy, the resources available to the economy should grow. It is only through the effective growth of resources that a society can enjoy at higher standard of living. This is how the countries have developed. If the resources have failed to grow, the countries continue to be underdeveloped. Thus, the economies should make efforts so that their resources grow gradually to meet the growing needs. So, my dear learners, I hope that you have learned about the central problems of an economy, that are allocation of resources, fuller utilization of available resources, growth of resources. So, thank you.